I love music. I mean, who doesn't? If you think about music, you can think about it in movies, it's in soundtracks, it's in everything. Okay? I mean, if you put on music, we listen to it to the radio, or just be in streaming services such as Spotify, Apple Music. With music comes creative expression, I feel. And the thing with music is that it's so accessible and it's enjoyable over a variety or various platforms, that we have and that we listen to. But if I like feeling or like listening to music, I will listen to it from time to time. I'm not the type of person to like listen to music excessively. I know some people enjoy listening to music a lot, various different artists and all that. But I'm more of a casual music listener. I don't really like break down the music. Like you'll see music breakdowns from various YouTubers, various podcasts. They all talk about music, but that's not this type of video. This video is going to strictly be about the way music is being consumed, in the year 2024. And for the most part, I would say that we listen through streaming, as I mentioned, and we listen to radio. I don't know who still listens to radio. If you do, like, let me know. But those are the two major uh consume. What's the word I'm looking for? The two major sources. That's the word of music. Um, I would say that if we have to look at it from an accessibility point of view, we think of streaming platforms, we think of the premium plans that Spotify has offered. I'm pretty sure you've seen it before, where they talk about, oh, you can access this Spotify premium, and they give you like a plan for like, I don't know, like 79 rand a month, I think. And there's obviously a few flaws with that in terms of where the future of music is heading, consumer wise. I would say that in terms of the accessibility point, specifically from there, that accessibility will become an issue eventually. Not right now, but eventually in terms of from corporate standpoint as well. For the average consumer, Spotify is free as of now, um, besides an account, obviously. But Spotify is currently the biggest streaming platform amongst other various streaming platforms such as YouTube Music. I don't know who uses that. I don't use it, but yeah, YouTube Music and Apple Music. There's Deezer. There's SoundCloud. Does Shazam have any music that gets played through there? I don't think so. But then there's premium plans, obviously that gets offered, and there's certain benefits that you get and everything like that. But the problem is that you also can't listen to your music offline without streaming because streaming requires, an internet connection. And I think Spotify, they offer premium plans that include like an offline listening package where like you can like download the music and you can like listen to it on Spotify. I don't know exactly like how it works 100%, but I'm pretty sure that that is just the basis of what they offer, and then they give you like title access and some other stuff. Um, but that's the biggest issue because if you're stuck without an internet connection, you have no data or you have no Wi-Fi. That's the one. If you have no Wi-Fi, you can't stream music and you can't listen to it. And I feel like most of us have Wi-Fi at home, and some of us have data plans and stuff like that. But how are you going to listen to music if you can't stream it? That's already there is like a big disconnection for me personally. Because if I'm out or if I'm on the road or something, I want to listen to music and not having to get charged data for it, especially like in Cape Town, or I should say South Africa. Data is like expensive, kind of. It depends on which plan you're with or whatever. But you're still being charged a fee to listen to music that you don't own. I don't mean ownership as in terms of like label rights or anything. I mean own as in you possess it. Not possess either, but you know what I mean. We don't have the music, is what I'm saying. Because this is where I think that the title of the video, obviously, is where CDs and vinyls will make a comeback eventually. Because I don't know if you guys have seen like the movie like Guardians of the Galaxy, where this the main character in the beginning of the movie. It's Peter Quill, aka Star Lord, and he's in the movie and he has a Walkman. Now, when the movie released, actually, everyone was talking about the Walkman. I don't know if Sony like released the Walkmans actually exclusively for that movie, so people can like be Star Lord, But those are physical copies of the songs. The music in its physical form is going to be better to own. And by own, I mean keep and like store and like keep it somewhere. Because with CDs and also vinyls, but like with vinyls, it's not like portable. And I guess you can like put CDs in something, especially when the iPad, not the iPad, the what's the word, the iPod became a big thing, and everyone was listening to MP3s and stuff like that. Like that was the first step I feel into the huge leap of MP3 and online music listening, because it's so much easier to keep the files and everything like that access on like on software that you don't need to own. You don't need to like with the Walkman, you need to switch out like the tape and stuff like that. You need to lock it in. You need to keep it safe. And if the not the wire, if the film like inside the Walkman, not the Walkman, the cassette, yeah, if that breaks, it's like over. And with your phones and that, you just listen to the song and you call it a day. But also with that, that's where I feel like there can be a separation between where you can listen to your music to and how it's accessed, because it's difficult to find certain songs even on your streaming platform that you're listening to. Sometimes it depends on the artist, obviously, but if you are listening to someone that's not mainstream or someone that's a bit um like if someone that's coming up, for example, they can like post to Spotify and stuff like that. But not everybody has a Spotify account that they release music on. You know what I mean? Like it might be like a underground artist or something that you're listening to, and they don't have that expenditure to post on Spotify. So you can post it on SoundCloud obviously as well, and people get recognized from there. A few artists have gotten recognized from there, like XXXTentacion and Lil Uzi. Yeah, he also got famous from there. There was a whole SoundCloud era. That was like 2017. I feel like SoundCloud has kind of died out though. Now everything's just Spotify. But that's the thing, especially with physical media, that's also much more expensive to access or to have certain music. Like if you listen to like a big name artist, I'm talking about like a Travis Scott, talking like a Kanye West, I'm talking about like an Eminem, for example. You can find and buy their CDs, but it's gonna cost you a lot. Like if you try to find like Kanye vinyls in South Africa or in Cape Town specifically, it's expensive. I think it's like 400, 500 rand a vinyl. And I mean, you don't even own a vinyl player, an LP player, so well, you can't even worry about that. You first have to worry about the vinyl, and that thing has to be like taken care of. Like you need to make sure there's no dust, make sure that the vinyl plays. You got to get like a cloth. You got to get it cleaned. You got to keep it very safe. It's a very sensitive piece of equipment. Vinyl, CDs, and everything. Like CDs have fingerprints and everything like that, but vinyls, especially if you haven't handled it before, you've got to be very careful around it. How you touch it, how you hold it, how you put it in. You can't just like slam it in and close the thing and put the needle on it. And the needles break sometimes as well. So you've got to see where is the best way. And I understand why people prefer just playing or streaming music through their phones or through their laptops via like MP3 or whatever, because it's so much safer in a way, because like you just go and find the song and you go listen to it. Um, but the issue with that is, I think eventually, or it can reach a point where music um will decrease. The what's the word, Nicola? The accessibility will decrease over time. Now, what I mean by that is, I don't mean to like consumers, like the average consumer. I don't mean like the rich, like rich. Obviously, the people can afford anything, but I mean like the what's not the breadline, the average consumer. Yeah, that's basically what I say. Um, for now, like music is free if you think about it. Besides owning an account and besides paying for the Wi-Fi, well, the music itself is free. Because if you log into Spotify, you just get an account, and then you just need some way to stream it, either with data or Wi-Fi, like I previously mentioned. But if they don't, if they're looking for a way to maximize their profits in terms of how do we charge the consumer, they can start charging for music. Like they can make like a subscription, like who uses subscriptions? Oh, Netflix. There we go. Yeah, Netflix isn't free. You've got to pay for Netflix, right? But then you've got like access to all those titles. But if you don't pay, no one's gonna watch all that content in 1 month. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. Um, and they can charge consumers for listening to their music on their platform, on the respective platform that you choose, obviously. And I feel like we've seen like, especially nowadays, I'm not in the gaming industry, but I play a lot of games. And if you see how the gaming trend is going in terms of how much they're charging for a base game and how much they're charging for DLCs and stuff like that, digitally or physical or physical copies like CDs. But even that, like, I don't know if you guys knew that like Musica closed down. I'm gonna see if I can find like a logo of Musica. If any of you have been to that shops, I was once, I think, in N1 City, or was it N1 City or Canal Walk, and we walked in, and we had no idea that they were closing down because like they sold CDs, they sold vinyls, they sold games, a lot of physical stuff in terms of like the actual hardware, and they just closed down. And I think that was like sign number one that like the physical era of music or media in general. Because I mean, we could talk about movies, but we'll talk about that some other time. That whole thing is phasing out, and we are getting to a point where everything's becoming digital. But if things are digital, you don't necessarily own it. You know what I mean? Like actually owning it. Like for example, if your phone switches off, or if you have no Wi-Fi, you can't access anything that's on your phone. That's what I'm saying. Like you can take a picture on your phone can die, or it doesn't go to the cloud or whatever, and you lose it. That's what I mean. It's like unless you have like a physical picture that you printed out, stuff like that. I went on a tangent there actually. I'm sorry. And then also like the record labels obviously own the music, but the record labels own the artist's music, and they obviously want to make money for the artist and for themselves, but they obviously take the bigger cut, obviously. And they also stream their music through these certain platforms.
Also, I wanted to say that streaming services can remove artists' music from the platform themselves, and Kanye West being the most recent example. Yeah, I just wanted to say that. I forgot to say that in the video.
And the record labels could get greedy, or whatever, and they can charge also. And they'll look at Spotify and be like, that's a good idea. We should do that. You take a cut of this, and I'll take a cut of that. That sort of thing. And also, like, we already spoke about the no internet access, but especially with the data pricing and like the Wi-Fi costing. And well, if you live in Cape Town, you know about the whole load shedding situation. I don't know if there's anyone who's like, what do you guys do if there's no internet or you don't have data and you want to listen to your music? But if the lights go out, load shedding, and you lose your Wi-Fi and you lose your data and you don't have data at the time, then you can't access these like Spotify's and whatever. So I feel like that will be a very big thing. And like, is it going to be affordable in the future? You know, to use these streaming platforms and these streaming services, and how much will it cost? I mean, we can talk about the economy, or I'm not going to talk about the economy, because I feel like I went on too many tangents already. And I mean, if you are interested in like owning your music physically, 'cause that's what the point of this video is. If you are interested in owning your music physically and you're trying to maybe move away from like the digital space, like on your phones and stuff like that, um, then I would probably look for start out with CDs maybe if you're really wanting to. You can start out with CDs and then maybe move to vinyls, but like vinyls is really just the extra step. And you can get a CD player, you can get like a media player that you can just play your CDs out. But you've got to check if it's CD or DVD. There's like I'm pretty sure there is a difference. Um, and you can look at like secondhand stores. You can go look at who else still sells CDs? Game. There's a lot of different places sell CDs though. But I would get it before they become expensive, because like that's how things work in terms of like supply and demand and the cost of things. Because the supply is high right now, but the demand is low. It'll be cheaper to buy it right now. That's why you see secondhand shops and charity shops and stuff like that. They're selling their CDs and stuff for 10 rand and stuff, and you never know which artists you might find. They obviously, like I mentioned earlier, if you try and look for like Kanye West or like Travis Scott or something, like really big, like those type of albums in physical form, you're going to be like expend. You're gonna have to like pay for it. You have to pay a decent price for it, obviously. Um, but I would just start looking. Just keep your eye out for those sort of things because if all else fails and the digital world becomes an expensive upmarket, not worth it type of thing, is it possible to at least access some of your music? And I know music means a lot to people. Um, and like I spoke about earlier, like where you find music and stuff like that. But people listen to certain artists. They've been listening to certain music for so long. They've gotten music from people that may not like be around anymore, and that they hold close to them. So, and if you guys saw like the Apple Vision Pro, like that whole thing, that thing's crazy expensive. I don't. How far are we going? I guess I'm not gonna. I was gonna say how far we're gonna push technology, but I'll save that for like also something else. Um, yeah, but I'm going to keep this short. I don't know how long this is gonna be. Um, but yeah. And then I did mention obviously going to buy the CDs themselves, but there are vinyl stores as well if you are interested in the vinyl stores. In buying your vinyls, if you've got like an LP player and stuff, like you can also check it like on Facebook Marketplace. I forgot to mention. People are selling stuff like crazy on there as well because, like I said, supply, demand, that sort of thing. You can also check on Marketplace for like players, and you can also check for CDs and vinyls themselves. I think there is a record shop somewhere in Cape Town. I'm not sure where it is. If I find it, I'll put it like on screen. Um, but yeah, that's I think everything that I wanted to say. Yeah. Also, I'm going to be making more of these type of videos because I can't always make videos that's like in person and stuff like that because I don't really have like someone that's filming for me. Um, and yeah, we did well in the last video, and that was like July last year, which was bad, and I haven't uploaded since then. But yeah, hope you guys are having a good day and enjoy your music, however you choose to listen to it.